Hi everyone, I am the Sarcastic Sloth, and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be covering a topic which is a bit unusual for my channel, I'll be honest with you. We're going to be dipping our toe into the art commentary community, more specifically, in particular with a creator called Thumin. We're going to just have a look at basically the situation that she's found herself in for drawing herself as a character from Kiki's delivery service. That's not something that I was particularly aware of, I'll be honest with you. I am not particularly manga or anime illiterate, but it's more to do with the response that she's received for just having done this, for drawing herself as a character, and just the amount of what I can only describe as just pure vitriol and an onslaught of hateful comments really for having done so. So without further ado, let's crack on. As per usual, everything I'm going to be discussing today are my own thoughts and opinions on the topic, and if you do not like that, ta-ra! So first of all, we've got to acknowledge something straight off the bat. This incident that I'm going to be discussing now, this is not the first time she's ever received racist comments on any of her art or any of her videos, as is the case for pretty much any black creator within YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or whichever else you care to name. It is unfortunately a byproduct of being a creator in these kinds of spaces because, you know, racism is rife and people are disgusting is basically all I can really narrow it down to. What I'm going to be talking about is basically when Thumin saw this all ramp up, and this was in October of last year. We're going to do a little bit of a slideshow almost of these tweets and things that Thumin has put out there in regards to this situation. But what I want to point out as well is that she and that many other creators in these kinds of positions basically keep quiet because they feel like if they keep quiet then they get left alone. Don't indulge the trolls is something that I see crop up again and again. But the thing is, when people are hating on you for something that you literally cannot change, i.e. the color of your skin, I imagine there's like a few stages. There's probably like anger, sadness. From what I can see, it's constant. It's like I said before, it's an onslaught. So like I said, we're going to go through this screen show and go through her tweets, which is only a small cross-section, by the way. Everything that I'm going to be showing you today is just the tiniest cross-section of what she's actually received. And you're going to see people from every kind of angle here. You're going to be seeing the outright racists. You're going to see the people who are like, put up and shut up. And even in some instances, hey, I didn't come here for drama, as if any of that is drama. There's also topics such as blackwashing and whitewashing within the community. Thumin actually did a couple of videos. I've watched a few other videos from other people on the subject, but I feel like Thumin's videos are very good. So what I'll do is I will put cards up here and you can go and look for yourself. There'll also be links down below as well. So Thumin wrote here, I drew myself as Kiki from Kiki's delivery service. I also discussed hashtag blacktober and whitewashing and blackwashing with Raging By in a hashtag YouTube video, so go check it out. I'll put the links down below too. Hashtag Blacktober 2020, Kiki's delivery service, Ghibli redraw. You can see that these images are different. This is a homage to the original image. It's not a case that she's just, you know, simply blackwashed herself over the original image of Kiki. She's even gone to redrawing the background. She's redrawn everything, as you can see here, and inserted her own characters. You can see that that's her character. That's how she draws herself. So it's not a case that she's just gone ahead and kept the original character and just simply quote-unquote blackwashed over it. Thumin got to a point where she had been sitting on the amount of racist messages that she'd been receiving on Instagram, Twitter, all the rest of it. She got to a point where she couldn't bottle it in, as well she shouldn't. You know, if anyone's coming at you in that kind of way, I don't see why you should just sit on it to make other people comfortable at the end of the day. So off the back of this, Thumin was receiving a lot of racist messages in her DMs. I keep getting DMs telling me to shut up about the racism in my face as a black artist, and I'm here to tell you that I won't. If I shut up and endure it in silence, it's not like the racism will disappear. So like, might as well bring awareness to it while dealing with it. Now, to any sane, rational person, that seems completely fair. At the end of the day, why should you put up and shut up when people are just being horrendously racist to you in your DMs for simply drawing a picture? But like I said, it would be naive to believe that this is like the first time she's ever received anything like this. But the Kiki picture is basically what added petrol to the fire. So we can see under here she's getting such messages as get lost, N-word, yeah, basically any kind of racist vitriol you can possibly think of. She also reposted saying, anyways, I'll repost my version of Kiki because F you. Then she also posts as well the kind of messages she's receiving. N-words like you should just shut the F up and die. Whitewashing is fine and you're an effing racist a-hole for blackwashing Kiki. This is why gorillas shouldn't do effing art. I've never wanted to crawl through my computer screen and throttle people as much as when I've been reading this kind of stuff. So I can only imagine what people who receive this kind of onslaught of hate actually feel like on a daily basis. It's just, you know what's depressing about this is none of this is surprising. The disappointment and the anger towards it never gets less. It's just revolting, man. I'm going to show you some images here where people have redrawn her particular depiction of herself as Kiki. As I will warn you, you know, if you thought that like some of the words that were being thrown around before were pretty heinous, then this will probably blow your mind. As we can see here is her original picture, and the one to the top right has redone her image with the bone through the nose, sort of doing like a Jim Crow cartoony version of the lips. Instead of the cat on the broomstick, it's now a baby, and instead of a cat in the cage, it is a watermelon. You might notice in the top corner, it took me a little second to click on this, instead of the seagull or dove, whichever that's supposed to be, that's now been replaced with a chicken. So, and then also we've got this other imagery here, which, you know, is just, well, I think it speaks for itself really. I don't really feel like I need to go into the descriptions of that. You can see it with your eyes, you know exactly what you're looking at. I mean, bloody hell, man. Do you know what I mean? You know what's kind of mind-bending to me is how people write this off as trolling. Like, to me, like, that's not a troll. That's just you showing your true bloody colours as far as I'm concerned. Anyone who's trying to, like, pass this off as, like, some kind of joke... If you find nothing wrong with any of this, quite honestly, you're a giant racist. There's no way you can't be. And if you're like just not bothered by it, then you're just bloody callous as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to go through some messages. By the way, I'm just going to say I'm not covering up any of these people's names. So if you want to go over to Instagram where these particular messages are from and go say hello in whatever way you see fit, fill your boots. Here for the art, not this drama. If you're just here for the art and not this quote-unquote drama, it's just disgusting that you even called it drama. What's kind of interesting to me is you clearly are, because otherwise why did you go out of your way to write a comment there? You clearly are. You wanted to make your opinion known. If you just like, well, I'm just aloof to all of this kind of stuff, well, you would have just scrolled on by, wouldn't you, man? Bruh, STFU, no one cares if you get "you're black" in the comments. It's this whole thing of, you know, put up and shut up that I don't understand, which no one should have to do. If you're like receiving hatred of this nature constantly, you shouldn't have to just, you know, put up and shut up. This is a mad one as well. So this person here commented, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, even if it's this, which is rather sad to see. Are you alright in the head? Like, are you actually okay? For you to think that and to say that, you had to think that and then you had to type that. And at no point did you think that was a crazy thing to type and put out there into the world for someone who's clearly hurting. It's maniacal, absolutely maniacal. Girl, you talk about making characters black, but you don't draw any blackface look-like. Are you like the black Barbie dolls? Stop being woke. She's drawn herself. You don't actually know what she looks like, man. So you can't say if that's an accurate representation of her in anime form. So again, it's absolutely absurd. This is another one that people tend to do in these kinds of situations where they want to sort of chuck in their causes into a cause that's already been discussed. What about autistic artists? Don't they matter too? No one said they didn't. No one said they didn't. This is her experience. She's talking about her experience. Why can't she talk about that without chucking every single other cause into the mix as well? It's obscene. It means that you can't talk about anything without discussing every single cause and experience there is. So, again, I can sort of see where they were coming from with that, but that, again, it's just misguided. This could all have been solved if you didn't give attention to the racists. So again, put up and shut up. Not giving attention to it doesn't make it stop. So this notion that people have, this sort of weird naive notion that, oh well, you know, if I'm not seeing it on my timeline, then it's not happening. I think you need to wake the fuck up, quite honestly. This is a message that she's received in her DMs, just so you can see the level as well. Again, it's just hatred. It's just absolute hatred. So I'm going to be saying some things that some people, this might spark a few people off. As if we haven't seen and read enough horrendous things, what I'm going to show you now, a DM in Instagram, is just on another planet. So, you know, skip forward a minute or so if you don't want to hear this. Listen here, you big smelly N-word. I will whip you so effing hard that the crack from the whip will wake up your ancestors from the dead. I hope the Republicans storm your house like they did the Capitol building. What, you mean a failed attempt? And give you the George Floyd style finishing move. Then I hope they grab your dead body and hang it from a pine tree and light it on fire with some kerosene. I would love to see someone stand in front of me, look me in the eye, and tell me that's just a troll and hijinks, and that people should get over that kind of stuff. That stuff is not going to affect you if you see it on a constant, regular basis. The mentality of these people, you can only come to one conclusion: this isn't trolling, this is just flat out racism, man. And it's all down to the fact that you don't like this particular person, you don't like black or people of colour in your space. Just admit it. Don't pretend that it's down to the fact that she drew herself as a cartoon character. That's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. So, as if all of this wasn't bad enough, we've seen that Thumin was posting stuff on her Twitter, but she was also posting on Instagram, because Instagram is her biggest platform. Posting what she was receiving and the fact that these are just racist comments and that she wants this to be enlightened, because at the end of the day, why should she suffer in silence, as no one should? And Instagram did the absolute kindness of telling her that the account may be deleted. Some of your previous posts didn't follow our community guidelines. If you learn and follow our guidelines, you can prevent your account from being deleted. Now, you got to take into account here that accounts that are doing that to her get reported, nothing happens, nothing seems to be happening whatsoever. So what the hell is going on at Instagram is what I want to know. Because something else I noticed with Instagram, isn't it funny how you'll get usually YouTubers as well who say or do some kind of racist madness. They could post that on Twitter, or they've done it on their YouTube, and then people are coming at them on Twitter. What they do is they lock their profiles and then they scurry over to Instagram where nothing happens, that nothing ever happens, and they can spout as much bile as they possibly want to and nothing ever happens to them. But people who try to highlight this kind of stuff, no, we've got to make sure that this isn't against our guidelines. Sorry, who's reading that? Who is actually reading that? Is that like a human being? I want to know what the fuck their criteria is, because I am side-eyeing Instagram like no one's business. We see here, so Instagram took down my post where I shared the racism I face online for being a black artist. They refused to reinstate my post even though it's not against their community guidelines to shed light on an issue like this. What the hell is going on in Instagram? Thumin puts up a couple of posts saying this is what I'm receiving, not what I've done, what I'm receiving. Nah, mate, don't want to know. That's just... But anyway, like I said, I'm just here to sort of point to this situation because, quite frankly, it's been driving me nuts for a few days, and I've been trying to figure out the best way to approach it. But yeah, I just find it disgusting, abhorrent. Every other word that you can think of that just basically describes how revolted in every sense of the word I am in regards to this. If you go and check her videos out, which you definitely should, and like I said, I'll put the video that she's put up within the last couple of days at the very end of this particular video, sharing the experience from her perspective. It's just a shame that someone who is like pleasant and just wants to share her experiences and her thoughts on being a black creator within that space, of which there doesn't seem to be a whole ton of them, as with a lot of creators, unfortunately, on YouTube within their respective communities. And for that, she just gets just untold levels of hatred leveled towards her. So go check her videos out. Check out the videos on blackwashing and whitewashing so you get a good idea of what that's about too. Because like I said, I just don't feel like I'm qualified to go into that really. But most importantly, check out her video on this whole entire instance, because yeah, it's mind-bending. It was mind-bending when I was just reading it on Twitter. It's even more mind-bending when you see her talking about it and showing more instances of it. But, you know, like I said, it's not surprising to me anymore, but it's just the disappointment never ever gets less that people are actually like this in the world. Like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments on this entire situation, and as per always, stay safe out there.